Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to just do a get ready with me with some old favorites. You guys really liked this. And I thought I would include some murder. So many of us, I feel like there's quite a few of us here on the tube in the beauty community that are like, my favorite murder. We love true crime. And I promised you guys, there was a few videos ago where I kind of talked about the fact that I'm listening to Karen and Georgia on My Favorite Murder, my favorite podcast. It's My Favorite Murder is the name of the podcast. I threw in that My Favorite Podcast part. And a bunch of you were like, stay sexy, don't get murdered. That's their little tagline, by the way. And if you guys can't handle sarcasm and irreverence, then they are not for you. I said how I have like 3 hometown murders to talk about. They have this part where they read people who've written in about a hometown murder, like something they remember from growing up, or they knew someone who was murdered, or just something, right? And so I'm like, wait a second, I think I have a couple of those stories. So I thought I would share. I thought we would have a little bit of story time. I'm going to try and talk about the makeup I'm putting on while I talk to you, but I might get distracted. So, and I will list everything below. So how about what I'll just tell you right now, I am using the Shade and Light from Kat Von D. I know now she has the little minis, the little duos at Sephora. Very cool. I found this at Marshall's. And I am going to use on my eyes some Anastasia. I've got the Prism palette. Prism palette came out right after Subculture, or before, or at the same time, and no one talked about it because everybody was complaining about the Subculture palette. And then this is Modern Renaissance, which is a beautiful palette, and I know everybody loves it. I think everybody loves it. I'm going to throw on some Jouer blush, and yeah, I don't know what lipstick I'm going to use yet. I haven't thought that far. Alrighty, let's dig in with eyeshadow, just in case I need to clean up. I do have my foundation concealer on and stuff, and I will link that video for you because that was another day. I mean, no, I put my foundation on today. I'm just saying that video is from another day. I'm going to use the shade in the Prism palette called Lure because I'm going to talk about how serial killers lure their victim. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. That's horrible. Okay, so also let's just talk about the fact that Washington is just like this crazy serial killer murder capital of the United States. I feel like Washington and Oregon are kind of like, and California are pretty good in terms of, oh look, we have a lot of notorious serial killers. Is it the Great Northwest and the trees and the rain, or is it the California hippie vibe culture? I don't know. I don't know. So my story begins in the 80s. Actually, it might even begin. So I moved out here with my family from Chicago in 1979, and the little suburb I grew up in is, I'm gonna be kind of specific, but I'm also not. So I can share some names. There are people in my parents' neighborhood that still know them, that have been involved with this, and yeah, and so I feel weird talking about other people's tragedy and horror. Is that stopping me? No. Okay, so I was in 2nd grade. My sister, however, was in high school, and I was not aware of this guy that I think he had graduated a few years beforehand, but he was friends with the neighbor kids. They all played basketball, like, you know, at the park. So I remember that, and then we were really good friends with a family that was friends with this guy. His name is Ramon. And he lived just down the street from my parents, but apparently his mom sent him to Florida to live with his grandparents for that summer. And it wasn't, this was after he graduated, it wasn't it was his biological grandmother and his step grandfather. And then we heard, because this is the 80s, so you hear about things either on the news or when it's like transcontinental, you hear about it through newspapers. And I don't know if it was through like the grapevine or actual news, but then we found out that he was on the run and wanted in Florida because he killed his grandparents with an axe. Okay, using in my corner, I'm using Parallel from Prism. How's that for a segue? Yeah, so the story is like, oh my God, did you hear Ramon's grandparents were bludgeoned with an axe or killed with an axe? Was there a baseball bat involved too? He's on the run and wanted, you know, he's a fugitive. And people in my hometown were concerned because he was a troubled kid. That was why his mom sent him away, was because he was always a discipline situation. He got in trouble a lot in high school. In fact, some of the teachers that I had in high school remember him, and he had actually threatened them while he was a fugitive. He wrote letters or he called on the phone somehow, because how did you get in touch with people in those days, right? So somehow he was still threatening certain people, and I think maybe even his mom, back home. And it was concerning. People were very concerned. So I just remember this being the kind of gossip. And I also had just learned about Lizzie Borden when I was about, 8 years old, 7, 8 years old when this was going on. And so I'm like, holy crap. So somebody we know, because I don't remember the guy, and I don't know if my sister remembers the guy, but the, friends of ours, their kids know this guy. And I'm like, so somebody literally like killed their parents with an axe, like Lizzie Borden. So for me, that was the fascination. I'm so terrible. I'm going now in Primavera with my finger. Not the food, the actual eyeshadow. So yeah, so that was kind of, like, ooh, this guy, he's wanted, he's threatening people, and he's got family and friend ties back here. So who knows what kind of sting operation they were doing? Like, I have no idea. But then I do remember, so this is where it kind of connects to me. My mom, there was like a morning getting ready for school, and she's like, oh, they caught Ramon. And it was, and I'm like, they did? And she's like, yeah, apparently they arrested him on our driveway 2 nights ago in the middle of the night. And I'm just like, what? And she's like, here, have some oatmeal. Yeah, so it was the, according to the police blotter, the block and cross street in the little report, because it wasn't a very large, like, whoa, we found him. It was just kind of like this little sidebar: wanted, fugitive, suspected of, axing his grandparents, arrested. And then it just gave like our street, and I'm like, okay, that's us. They're like, in the 600 block of the 1200 blah, 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 and you're like, yeah. And I think other neighbors had seen all the commotion, and whether it was FBI, just cops, sheriff, I'm not sure, but he was arrested. There's very little in his trial. He said he was told by a masked man that came to, that threatened him if he didn't kill his parents, they would threaten. Oh, he killed the dog too. That's the, oh yeah, he killed the dog. Oh God. And so there was reports about him saying how someone was telling him to do this. So then for a while, I think they were looking for some other person, and then they decided, I think it was determined he's schizophrenic. He clearly needed mental evaluation and probably psychotropic drugs. And I don't think he was getting that, and that's, you know, maybe what led him to do what he did. And I don't know, since this is like 30 years ago, I don't know if he was put away for life. I don't know, you know, Florida has the death penalty. I don't know if he was on death row. Like, there is nothing I can find since. Like, is he out of prison? Did he die in prison? Because he'd be in his 50s, late 50s. Yeah, 50s. You know, is he dead? Is he alive? Is he free? I don't know. I don't know. Is he hopefully maybe in a mental institution somewhere? I don't know. But that was the story of the axe murderer getting arrested on my driveway in the 80s. So, yeah, I did all kinds of digging on the internet, and I couldn't find anything except that one article that talked about the voices that he had heard or someone telling him. And I'm all, poor kid, this guy needed help. So, that's all I know. Dun dun. Right? I mean, ugh. Look at my makeup job. It's like terrible. I'm just yammering away here over murder. I'm such an awful person. Yeah, I know. You guys, I'm going to go in with Sphere because it's a shocking yellow shade, and I am going to put it in the corner because you guys always kind of freak out when I do that. I love it. I love it when I freak you out. I know. Okay, I am going to go underneath this. I think I kind of already did a shade down there, but I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do Antique Bronze. So you can just see the yellow. It gives me just enough of a jaundiced look. Just kidding. Actually, I'm going to go in with Realgar. I don't know what that is. It's kind of orange. I've been doing a lot of orange on top lately, and I'm going to put orange right here because I'm going to warm up. This is just such a little hodgepodge of shades. Cool. Oh, you guys, I forgot another amazing fact about that story. I didn't find out till later, probably when I was a teenager, that the veterinary office we would take our cats to, the receptionist was his mother. I was like, when my mom told me this, I'm just going, what? Yeah, I mean, she's such a nice woman, and I know she rescued greyhounds. She did like fostering for greyhounds, and I don't know, I mean, I think she still lives in the neighborhood. That vet is no longer, I think he retired, but yeah, like, it's so weird. That's why I just feel weird. I don't want to use real names because I know that there's some people out there that follow, or, I mean, I'm just sort of protecting identities. Okay. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild on my brows. This stuff is a little strange, but also good. A bunch of you were like, that was so weird, Rebecca. I didn't think it was going to work. And I'm like, I know, right? And it works. Let's get into Kat Von D, Shade and Light. Oh, and guess what? I have a Kat Von D Shade and Light brush I also got at, Marshall's, TJ Maxx. I'm trying to remember where it was. I'm just going in the banana shade, cleaning up underneath. And if you guys want a brush like this that's cheaper, Makeup Academy at CVS makes one. It's pretty great. Gonna use this Jouer blush. It is Rose Gold Blush Duo. I'm not sure if they just launched a blush palette, which I'm gonna skip because I have 6 blushes. I mean, I have a lot of product from Jouer, so I love the idea of having everything in one spot, but I don't need to spend the money right now. Not that I need to spend the money anytime, to be honest with you. So yeah, I like that. This is just such a pretty combination. And then let's use some Essence mascara, shall we? Ooh, I like to mix them. Lash Princess False Lash Effect, Lash Princess Volume. I like voluminous false lashes that are real. Fast forward, shall we? Put the L'Oreal Magic Lumi, it's the primer, but I put it right here with a sponge on my cheekbone for highlighter, and I'm like, I've never done that before, so I'm gonna try and see if I like it. So I started lining my lips with Jordana. This is Tawny. Such a good, although I think this one is old because normally they're a lot smoother and this one seems kind of, so you guys, I did an Instagram poll this week about what you prefer, matte or gloss lipsticks lately, and gloss won. So I was like, oh wow guys, okay. I love both. I mean, honestly, I love both, but I can understand why we're all kind of feeling a little bit of a matte overload with just dry everything. So I just got this gloss sent to me. It's from a brand called City Lips, and they have luxury makeup, which I was like, luxury? Nobody sends me luxury makeup. So it's like, not terribly expensive, but it's not drugstore. And I believe, you know, because they're an indie brand, they've got things going for them like cruelty-free, made in USA, that kind of thing. So I know some of you are really, you just love makeup and you want to see as many brands as you can. So that's why I'm telling you. This is called Sun Diego, and it's their lip plumping gloss. And I thought I would try it. It is definitely a dupe to NARS Orgasm. I said that on my channel. I said the O word. We can never have too many orgasms. Lip glosses. Da-dun-dun. I know, right? So, oh, and I did try their matte one is like crazy thin. Like it's just such a thin, it doesn't feel like anything on the lips. It's pretty fantastic. So just that kind of glossy tackiness to it. But yeah. Alrighty, well, I hope you guys were entertained and enthralled by my murder story, and I can't explain it. I think I'm not the only one who is just sort of fascinated by the kind of awfulness of whether it's serial killers or when you find out something, you know, like murder in your own backyard kind of thing. Yeah. I will list everything below. I thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for enjoying my channel. You guys are so nice in the comments, and I really appreciate that. And there's some of you who are like, I watched all the ads, Rebecca. I'm giving you whatever penny you can get. Thank you so much. That is so incredibly sweet of you. I mean, I think I can tell actually when I see my little analytics where there's like this little uptick in Google ads, because some of you have been like watching all the way through and not clicking away. And so, you know, every penny counts, and I appreciate that. And I hope you subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and follow me on other social media, and I will leave links and everything and stuff below and around my face, and you got it. So Till next time, bye.